Hey DIYers, so first worst tool I bought happens to be this bench dog saw guide or cutting guide, if you will. Now, of course, when I bought it, I thought it was a great deal. So what it was designed for, as you might guess, is to run your circular saw along to make cuts in whatever lumber you're using. One nice thing that I liked about it, and the reason I got it, was because it's designed so that your saw edge rides against this lip and it cuts right along there. When you buy it, it comes extra wide so that you can fit it to your particular saw and blade. It has these little hold-ons and it says put the left hand here, so honestly you have to be a right-handed person. But that's not why it's bad. The problem is it's kind of big and cumbersome. Where they tell you to put your hand, you're going to have some way to fix your material down so it doesn't move, otherwise your material's going to move. But forgetting that, say you grab it like this and hold it, what I found was when I was using it is it would have tendencies for this thing to move and I wouldn't get a straight cut. And the other reason it's not a good tool is because, well, I just use my speed square. Now the disadvantage of using the speed square is you have to get your saw set up on the line you want to cut and put your speed square there and cut it. So like I said, this was the one nice thing. You got this edge put on your line, cut along there, and you cut right on your line, provided that when you cut this, you did it straight. So I wouldn't buy it. I just use a speed square to do your cutting or your small tools. Or better yet, the other reason I don't use it is because I got a miter saw. Don't need it. But if I happen to need it, I just use a speed square. Now don't go anywhere. I got 4 more worst tools to go over and a bonus one at the end that might surprise you just a little bit. My second worst tool are these caulking spatulas that I bought. And just so you know, these tools aren't in any particular order that I'm talking about. So why were these not very good? Well, I got these when I was painting the house and I thought, how great would it be, lay down a bead of caulk, take this, run over it, done, on I go. That's what I thought anyway. I thought, wow, look at all these different sizes. This is going to be great. Well, it didn't work out that well. Why didn't it work out? You may not be able to see this very well, but all I have is this clear silicone caulk to demonstrate with. But the reason it didn't work out very well is because, well, I put my bead of caulk down just like this. I've tried this one and this one both and didn't like either one of them, but basically I put it down there and go, oh, that is great, that's great. See how it's starting to come out the side and the edge? It's starting to get where I don't want it. That's why I didn't like it. Because I thought, if I've got to put tape on here, it defeats the purpose of why I bought these. I got these so I wouldn't have to do tape. I can just run through here, do this, and be done. But you can see how it brings caulking up the edge over the sides of the spatula. But you know what works really well? This, your finger. Most people have at least one. Some of us even got 10. They're free, they come with you. And you can get as fat or big a bead of caulk as you want, depending on which finger you use and how fat your fingers are. And if I'm gonna have to use tape, might as well just do it with my finger. So, if you're gonna do caulking, get you some painter's tape and a finger. And before we get to that third worst tool, let me know down in the comments what tool did you buy that didn't work out as you planned or was your worst tool purchase. So now on to the third worst tool. And that's this orbital, we'll say, sander. Now this is a very old Makita model, as you can tell, because it's red instead of their kind of teal blue that they come in now. How old is it, you ask? Well, there's a tag on here that says 86. That's how old. But when I got this, they didn't really offer that I knew of, let's put it that way, or was aware of or knowledgeable about random orbital sanders. And that's what you want, is a random orbital sander. This here just goes in circles. And so when you're sanding on something, especially if you're wanting a good, nice finish when you're done, this isn't going to do it because it's going to leave little swirls all over everywhere, no matter what grit of sandpaper you use. 2, this thing is very loud. 3, it's very hard on the hand when it vibrates. It vibrates a lot. Your random orbital sanders are going to take off faster and better. So which tool should you get? And that is a random orbital sander. This DeWalt here that I have, which I'm a very big fan of DeWalt tools, is a 20-volt brushless, cordless random orbital sander. The nice thing about it is it's adjustable speed, whereas this is on, off. That's all you got. So it's nice to have that adjustable speed. 2, it's got a little collection bag, but don't count on that a lot. It's better off if you've got some sort of dust collection system hooked to it. 3, it's quieter than that one. tool number 4 is this scale jigsaw. I haven't used it in so long, it's still taped up in the original box. Now, again, I bought this long ago in my early DIY days. I didn't really know a lot. So I think I bought this basically on price alone. I really didn't know that there was, other better options. So why is this a bad tool? Now, while this tool is variable speed, and it's got this, what they call dynamic vibration reduction, really what all that did, I don't know. And it's got this nice little shield that folds down that kind of covers for when you're cutting. Things I didn't like about it: one, when you would cut, this blade flexed too much. And so I'd have cuts that would do this, wander all over the place. 2, it really didn't cut very well. And 3, this one isn't, it's not easily adjustable for 45s and stuff. You can, but you got to loosen the screw to do it. And 2, blade change is slow. You got to undo this set screw and remove the blade. But the biggest reason I didn't like it is because it didn't cut very well. Like I say, I couldn't get good straight cuts. I got ragged, jagged, crooked cuts the whole time. So it's been taped up in that box for over 10 years. So a better option than this would be, well, for me, DeWalt. So I got this one. Again, there's different manufacturers. Makita makes them. I mean, all kinds of people make them. It's up to you, but I definitely like this DeWalt. I've used it a few times. Now, I got the corded version. This one doesn't have, although this one is advanced in its time, had a dust port collection. This one does not. The nice thing about this is the ease of doing stuff. So it's got adjustments for plunge cutting. When I tried to plunge cut with that, I just broke blades, whereas this, it does a very good job. 2, the ease of the blade change. You pull this up, pull your blade out, angle adjustment, very easy. Flip this little knob, push forward, turn the angle however you want. No screws to mess with. Put it back and you're all set and done. Comes with this nice no mar plate, plastic. You take it off if you don't like it. Like I said, I've used it a few times and it cut very well. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a tool review on this. This one I haven't done one. Also, come to think of it, what should I do with these bad tools that are no good? You know what? I think I'll just give them away to Goodwill. So on to number 5. Don't leave yet. Remember, got a bonus tool at the end. Sorry for the audio, it's a little windy when I'm taping this. So what is the next bad tool? Well, it's this here ladder right here. DIY quick quiz. How do you tell how tall your ladder is without looking at the label on it? Answering in a little bit. So in case you didn't know, all ladders, step stools, work platforms, they have weight ratings and types. And those types are, there's type 3, which is light duty, rated at 200 pounds. There's type 2, which is what this one is, rated at 225. And before you say anything, I'm under that weight limit, so that ain't why this is bad. There's type 1, rated at 250, type 1A, rated at 300, and type 1AA, rated at 375. So what makes this a bad ladder? Well, it's just entirely too flimsy. I mean, you see this here, but you're probably thinking, well, once you stand to get all 4 legs on the ground, stand on it, it's better. Well, it's not bad if you only stay on this first rung, but you can see it's not much better. It's going to wibble wobble around if you're not careful. Now, when I bought this, I'm sure I bought it because of price. And if you've got to buy it for that reason, just make sure you always have somebody on the other side holding it for you, and I think you'll be okay. I don't know why they're this way. Is it because of the type rating they have? Well, I'm going to show you a type 3 that I have that's not near as flimsy as this. Is it because of the aluminum? It's just cheap aluminum. I got what I paid for because it was a cheap ladder. Don't know. Is it because it's almost a straight up and down? It doesn't have any taper to it. It goes to the bottom. I don't know. But I thought if I bought one taller, it'd be even better. I was wrong. And both of these ladders are made by the same company. So is it just this particular manufacturer makes cheap ladders? I don't know. Like I say, I'm going to show you one here in a second that's kind of a little stiffer, made by the same person. But same reason this one's no good, it's the same reason this one's no good. It's just too flimsy. This is a taller ladder, but in fact, I think it's bent because it kind of sits a little crooked to be all 4 legs on the ground. And so I don't know as I'd risk any higher than this 3rd rung, but you see, it doesn't take much and you could easily fall. And this one is also a type 2 ladder rated at 225. Now this 3rd ladder here
It's made by the same company. It's a wooden ladder. It's a little stiffer. The nice thing about this ladder is it's got nuts you can tighten up for the rungs to make it a little stiffer. But this one is a type 3. It's only rated 200 pounds. Now, before you say anything, I weighed less than 200 pounds when I bought this, so that's not the reason. And now that I've weighed a little more, it's still not the reason. As you see, when I get this folded out, it's flimsy, don't get me wrong, but it's a little stiffer than that one. This one, I probably feel okay at about here, but I dang sure wouldn't go any higher, and I'm still gonna want somebody to hold on to it. Well, what ladder should you get? Well, I'm very partial to these little giants. Now, this is the first one I got. I mean, this thing is stiff. I can go taller than these ladders, and that's one of the reasons I got it, is because I didn't want to have a step ladder and get an extension ladder, and with this I can do both. But this one happens to be a type 1A, which means it's rated at 300 pounds, so definitely above my weight rating. In fact, I like this one so much, I've got 2 others. And you see how much stiffer this one is? I have no qualms standing on this top rung. I'll go clear to here and not worry about this ladder falling on me. I definitely wouldn't do it on those. So what's the answer to that quiz I gave you? Well, let's count the rungs. The rungs are 1 foot apart. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 5-foot ladder. That's how you can tell. And that bonus tool I told you about? This wheelbarrow. Now again, wheelbarrows are a great tool. Just this one isn't very good. You're asking yourself, I don't understand. Great. So I got this one because it's deeper and seems to have a bigger bucket, if you will, to it. It's got a nice pour spout to it. The problem is the clearance from here to here. You only get about 5 1/4 inches. You're probably thinking that's no big deal. Well, it is, and I'll show you here in another wheelbarrow that I got. For me, I'm 6'1". That's the problem. Maybe if you're 5'5", it wouldn't be. But when I go to pick this up, if you look down there, holding it comfortably, how low that is to the ground, it doesn't take much before you hit and over you go. And it happens. It's happened. It's happened many a time. You're going along on the ground and you hit a hump or a dip, and the front of that catches, and I've dumped a bunch of stuff. The other thing too is you'll see is this handle is about 1 inch closer to the ground than my other one. Now don't get me wrong, I got that because 1, it has a solid tire to have to worry about inner tube, and 2, how big it is. But my old standby, this is the one I use. So I got this nice metal one. Unfortunately, it's got an air up tire that, you know, it can go flat and you need a new inner tube. But if you look, we got 6.5 inches of ground clearance. That's 1.25 inches more than that. And that thing I told you about the handles, top of these handles are 20.5 and those are 19.5. So I got 1.25 inches and another inch, it's 2.25 inches. That's a huge difference. So you see, as I stand and hold this, I still got quite a bit of clearance down there. And I have to actually get this far up before it's gonna tip on me. Well, that's just not even physically comfortable. So this old standby has not let me down. I've kept this one because, well, 1, these wheelbarrows are kind of expensive, and 2, I have many cases I need a second one. I just remember when I have to use this one, I have to do like this to try and not spill it, which makes it very uncomfortable. That's why I say if you're, say, 5'9" or something, this will probably be just perfect for you. If you want to see more tool reviews, click this playlist here, where I review some tools you just might want to buy. Let me know down below what tools you might have bought that you didn't like or wish you hadn't. If you want to see more of these DIY videos, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and just remember, a drill does not equal a hammer. Until next time, happy DIYing.